I'm back in Empyrion Galactic Survival. Now, I did a start guide in version 1.6 and also version 1.8, and as we can see, we're now up to version 1.11.5, and there have been a number of changes. So let's just go single player, and let's just go start game, and let's just go survival. Now, one of the changes, if you look at the start location, this is the start planet options. We've got Aqua as we did before, Ninga same as before, Skilla and Maspron. This one's been added. But if you're new to the game, you definitely want to start on Aqua because you've got a reasonable temperature, so there's no temperature management that you have to do. It's got a breathable atmosphere. If you choose any of the other options, you get some complication or another, be it a temperature extreme or a non-breathable atmosphere. And Maspron, you do tend to get quite a few more enemies there, so it's a slightly more difficult planet to play to start with. So this is definitely the easiest one. So if you're starting out, pick this one. Now, on difficulty settings, these three here all used to say no in version 1.8, and they all now say yes. Now, these two here, they kind of make sense. I don't really need to go into detail about what they do exactly, but this is, I find this one a bit problematic because we deal with a lot of heavy stuff in the game. I highly recommend turning this one off, especially if you're new to the game. And just learning the game with that off, and then if you want to switch it on in a new playthrough, then do so once you see the difficulties that you can face carrying weight. But I'm going to start with that one off anyway. All right, now we're in Aqua, and we've got this seed number. Now, it also used to be that this is the seed number of the planet. So if we clicked here with left mouse click, and we went randomize, and change the seed number, we would get quite a few cosmetic changes to the planet that we were on. They would all be equal in terms of difficulty. But it seems like every seed number I pick, we always get the same planet these days. So I'm just going to go random, see if it happens again. 532524. Go set. All right, so let's get going. So the game always starts out with this impending crash, and there's nothing you can do at the moment. You can't steer, but you can look around. And if you look to your right there, you see that building with the kind of blue lights on. That's camp where we will be spending our first night a little bit later on. So after the black screen, you get this message. I'm just going to go no and cancel out of this. And now, if we just look down at our feet, you'll find that there are two things that you can pick up with the F key. So I'm just going to pick those two up. And then if we go tab, these are the two things that we just picked up, survival tool and the flashlight. In fact, I'm going to put them in different pockets. And we also picked up this, if we just look in our inventory, we have this detector where we can ping to see what's around us. And we'll do that in a minute. These things I'm not going to bother with right now, but we also have some food and a couple of bandages. Now, if you just look down to the left here, top bar, we're only starting at half health, 250 out of 500, and we're also starting out at half hunger. This third bar here, that's our stamina. We haven't moved yet, but that will go down as we run around, of course. And this is oxygen, which we don't bother with because we're on breathable planet. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to eat these energy bars, get our hunger stat up a bit. We can easily make a lot more later, and we'll do that. And I'm also going to use these bandages just to get our health up a bit. Again, we can make a lot more of those later. All right. So as far as tools, now let's just use the detector first. So left mouse click and you ping just to see what's around you, and then you can press map and you'll see, yeah, pretty much I think this is the same planet every single time, no matter what seed number you use, because every single time I'm seeing these 5 resource mines here. So each of these is a mine, and what you'll find is this one's copper, this one's iron, and this is silicon. Because it seems to be the same every time. I think one of these is copper and one of these is iron down here. So what the game does is these are the 4 types of mine that you see on Aqua. And it always gives you an iron one and a copper one and a silicon one nearby. But the carbon one tends to be a little bit further out. So it's not one that we can get using mines early on. So bearing that in mind anyway. Just going to the survival tool. Just equipping that. If you right mouse click you get three options. You get a defense mode, you get a resource mode, and you get a salvage mode. Now, we're not going to be using the salvage mode in the first couple of days. So it's really just defense mode and resource mode. Now, if you do see an enemy or get attacked, obviously you want to be in defense mode. If you select that, then left mouse click basically fires. Now, all of the enemies on Aqua attack more slowly than you walk backwards. So if you just walk backwards and just zap them like so, you can pretty much kill everything on this planet. So it's not too dangerous a place to be. But we are going to be wanting to use it mainly in resource mode. So let's go to resource. Now, as mentioned, we are, if we just ping again, this is going to be a copper mine, this is going to be an iron, and this is going to be silicon. And that's where we're going to get all of our copper, iron, and silicon, and that is from these three mines. That's the most efficient way to do it. Just equipping our survival tool again. We've got it on resource mode. Now, if we want carbon, then we want to be hitting these black rocks there. If you just look in the top left, every time you do this, you get 50 XP, and that one gave us 6 carbon substrate. Varies each time. That one gives us 5. So all we're going to do is run around the starter area, and we're just going to hit carbon substrate only. As mentioned, we're going to get the other metals from the mines. If we wanted iron, for example, we would hit this one. As you can see in the bottom right there, it's iron bearing. But it only gives you 2 each time. It's just much more efficient to go to the mines. This one here is silicon, and same deal. It's just less efficient to hit up these small rocks. That one only gave us 1 silicon. This one here is copper. 3 copper that time. But again, just more efficient to go to the mines. Now, if you want stone, you just hit any of the stone-looking rocks like this one. That would take quite a bit of time. I'm not going to bother. So all I'm going to do is run around the starter area, and I'm going to hit all of these black rocks here. But I'm also going to be picking all of the plants that I can find. Now, we do have quite a bit of carbon substrate on us already. But if you just, this is plant protein here. If you look in the top left when we pick this, 2 plant protein, you get 100 XP for every single plant you pick. 100 XP again, 100 XP again. So all we're going to do in the first day is run around the starter area, and we're going to be picking all of the plants that we see. And we're going to be hitting every single carbon substrate that we see. And what you'll see is that top right there, or sorry, top center there, level 2 reached. So you reach level 2 very, very quickly by picking plants. Now, we want to start crafting a few things. So if you just hit the tab key again, and you go here, top right, you've got these 3 tabs here. We're not going to be bothering too much with the report bug, so we're just going to be sticking with stats and survival constructor. The stats, this pretty much repeats a lot of the information you have down here in terms of your health, food, stamina, oxygen, etc. It also tells us that we've got 10 points unlocked. Now, every time you level up, it gives you more points. So, and this tells you what level you're on. As we saw, we just leveled up, and we're now on level 2, and we're 7% of the way on to level 3. And if we pick a lot more plants around the starter area, we will get to about level 5 by the end of the first day. That's the goal. If you're sick or injured, it will tell you down here and also what to do about it. But this is the survival constructor where we need to be making a few things. There are 6 levels, I think it's 6 levels of constructor in the game, and this is the simplest because it's always in our pocket, if you like. But this is the 2nd level of constructor right here, a portable one, and we can make this in our pocket. But as you can see, it's got a padlock on there, it's gated. So what you have to do, we just press the S key and get out of here. If we go F3, it takes us to the tech tree. And you can see that we've got base, capital vessels. We all have all of these headings here. Different types of tech that we can invest in with the points that we have. But the one that we want start with is the miscellaneous one. And if we just look down here, you'll find the portable constructor that we just saw was gated. So I'm going to unlock that. It only takes 1 point. So now if we go tab and we go back to our survival constructor here, you can see that this is no longer gated. Now if you look down there, it takes 5 carbon substrate to make, and we're going to need a few of these for reasons we'll see later. So I'm just going to make 3 to start. Actually, I'm going to make 4. And we'll just leave that to craft while we're running around, because as you see, it's quite slow. All right, so that's all we're going to do. Now the starter area, if you just look at this whole area here, the density of plants and carbon substrate is very high in this area, in the starter area, and it thins out as you leave the starter area. So what you want to be doing is staying within the starter area and just getting all of these black guys here, and every single plant that you see, every single plant that you can pick up. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to restart the game now. Actually, I'm just going to run around, do exactly what I just mentioned. That is hitting every single plant I can see and every single carbon substrate. Now, one other thing I'm just going to do before we do anything else, I'm just going to ping again. And I'm just going to go M from map. Now, this is the camp that we saw on the way down. We looked to our right, and we saw that building, and that's called the obelisk, and it's next to the camp that we will be spending our first night in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right mouse click here, and it opens add map marker. I'm just going to write camp in here. Capital C-A-M-P. Put waypoint and accept. So that just puts a yellow flag there, which we can remove later. But if you look in the top right, so we can always see which direction to go now because it's got that yellow dot. So we don't have to keep going back here and see which direction we need to be going in. All right, so I'm going to restart the game. I'm going to run around off camera and pick up every single plant I can see, hit up every single carbon substrate I see, and I'll see you once I'm done. All right, so we've done our run around. I've pretty much got most of the plants and most of the carbon substrate in the starter area. Might have missed 1 or 2, for example, there's one down there. But anyway, if we just go tab, we just look at where we are. So we got 208 carbon substrate, and we got a lot of plant protein and a lot of plant fibers. And we made our 4 portable constructors. So I'm just going to put those down here. We'll get to use those later. Now we want to do a couple of things. I'm just going to make a couple of bandages. So 1, 2. So I'm just left mouse clicking on the icon here. I'm just going to make 5 to start with. As you can see, it takes 3 plant fibers and 2 plant protein, and we've got a heap of that stuff. Now, we also want some food because we're going to be getting hungry. So again, left mouse click, you just add 1 to the queue here. If you just go shift left mouse click, it adds 10. If you go control left mouse click, it adds 100. Shift control left mouse click adds 1,000. So that'll keep cranking away until all of the plant protein's been used up. I'm just going to put bandages down here in the meantime. Now, one thing about the energy bars here is you see that it's got a perish time of 90. Now, if we move these from the output here over into our inventory, then that perish timer starts to count down. If we just leave it here in our output, it does not count down. So this will last forever. So we will convert all of the plant protein into energy bars, leave it there. But anyway, let's head off. We are going to leave the starter area now. We've got all of the things that we came for, and we're going to be heading towards the camp here. All right. So we're not going to go mining today. Oh, carbon substrate. We're not going to go mining today anymore. We're just going to get to the camp. If you look in the top right there, it says 341. Now that tells us, well, 337 now. That tells us that it's going to be dark in 3 hours and now 32 minutes, 31 minutes. We want to be at the camp before that happens. So we haven't bumped into any enemies in the starting area. I think this is another change. You used to get a broken leg if you went down slopes like this before. So you can see we're heading towards the yellow dot here. That's actually one of the enemies there. So let's just see how it works in defense mode anyway. This thing does attack. Oh, plant equals XP. Oh, here it comes. So again, if we walk backwards, he can't catch us. So this guy's quite tough. It does take a while to go down. There he goes. Okay, so we got a piece of meat out of that, which is good. Because this is going to go rotten in, well, quite quickly, but we do actually want some rotten food for reasons we'll see later. But anyway, so we just want to go right mouse click and back to resource mode. And there are some different types of plants here. We don't particularly need different types of plants, but we're going to pick them for the XP again. Now, trees. We need some wood because we need fuel. And the way to get fuel is to use wood in one of the portable constructors. And there are two types of tree that you want to be looking for. And this is one of them because it has 55 health, as you can see in the bottom right. So these are the most efficient ways to, or these are the most efficient trees to cut down for wood. These, for example, have a lot more health. 1, 3, 4. It takes a lot longer. They're still hitting these plants. But this is the other type of tree that you're looking for with the thorns on. Again, it's got 55 health. But if you look at the number, it's quite quick to cut down. You look at the number of logs. That one only gave 4. It's generally between 3 and 8. I think that's the range. That one gave 7. So I'm just going to cut down a bunch more of these trees and see in a minute. Alright, so this is our last tree. If we just go tab now, we picked up 65. Yeah, that's plenty to go. Just going to do this one, the last one. Because as mentioned, all this wood is going to get turned into biofuel. There's a couple more plants here. I'm just going to grab these. Now we've got 150 in the top right there before it gets dark. So we're at the camp. Camp's right next to that building there. So we'll be there soon. That big dinosaur thing there, that's not aggressive. So he won't attack even if we get close to him. Different types of plants here, which we don't particularly care about right now. But we're just taking them for the XP. Plant fibers, purple leaves. And we get to see a couple of different types of plants around. You see these butterflies here. Now our health right now is 428. If you get close to one of those butterflies, you get that message in the top. You feel invigorated, etc. And you see in the bottom left there, you get that green square. So that actually gives you health. So that's why we're now maximum health. You see those butterflies everywhere around the starter camp here. So you don't need to be using, just going to tab. So you don't, and survival constructor. So as you can see, we converted all of the plant protein into energy bars here. So we are quite hungry. So we could eat our fill here, which we will do quite soon. But I'm just going to get to the camp and then settle down for the night. Another one of those butterflies here, if we needed the help. A couple more different types of plant here. I'm just going to pick them. Berries, just for the XP. Don't particularly need or want them. But we will be able to make a couple of meds in a minute, I think. But we'll see. So I'm just grabbing these plants again for XP, not because we need them for any other reason. Alright, so let's settle down. So this is the starter camp. So this is where we're going to spend our first couple of nights. Now, this thing here, if we press F to talk to it, you can get a bit of information about the planet here. So if you just go to planet data here and you look at animals, this tells you the types of animals that are on the planet. So you've got these alien bugs. We haven't run into any at the moment. I did see them once in the starter area, but only one time. Generally, you would only see these once you leave the starter area. We haven't run into any yet, but we're likely to run into a couple of packs tomorrow. They tend to travel in groups of 4 or 5, but these generally attack, and they do pack a punch. But as mentioned, if you put the survival constructor, or rather the tool, on defense and you just walk backwards, you can zap them with it and take care of them without too much problem. Okay, previous menu. So this is the dinosaur we just saw. He's non-aggressive, so no problems there. Lizard mules, they're non-aggressive, no problem there. Parasaurs are also non-aggressive, no issue. This is the guy we bumped into before, so these guys are aggressive. These are the problem ones because these can travel in pretty large groups, and you don't want to be jumping, or rather, you don't want to be bumping into big groups of those. Now, you see up here this line, third line, at night, single larger adults go hunting. So what happens if you run around at nighttime? You can bump into a couple of these guys. And I was playing Ring of Rosie with a couple around here one evening, so you can bump into them. So what we're going to do, we could go mining during the night and deal with the raptors if we ran into them. Not too difficult to deal with, but what I'm going to do is just spend the first night here at the camp. As you can see in the top right, we've got 12 hours now till sunrise. So we're just going to do a couple of things before we wrap up this episode. So just going tab. We did have this survival tent here. So I'm just going to place this down because it does give us a spawn point. But as you can see, it also gives us the option to pass 8 hours. And we'll do that shortly. But we also have a couple more things that we want to do. So we've got our food. We've got our portable constructors. Now, one of the first things, actually, I'm going to make this first, a water O2 condenser. We'll just get that crafting while we do the rest of this. So 3. So it's a bit dark, but I'm just going to put one of the constructors down here. That'll do. I'm going to put one over here. You put them anywhere you want, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put one down there. And I'm going to keep one on us. Did I put down 2 somewhere? One there, one there. Oh yeah, I did. So it's Control F to pick them up. But I just want to keep one in inventory for when we go mining tomorrow, which is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. All right, now we did pick up all that wood. We picked it up for a reason because we are going to be needing some fuel. So if we put all of our wood logs in here and then go down here to biofuel. Again, left mouse click adds 1, shift left 10, control shift adds 100, and control shift adds 1,000. So you can overload this because it'll just use up all the resources up here in the input as it can, and then this will clear once it's out of resources. So that'll be cranking away on biofuel during the night. And you can see how slow it is, and this is why we wanted to get this going as soon as we could. So that will give us fuel as and when we need it. And we will be needing fuel. All right, what else? I'm just going to put all of the things that are liable to go bad here. All of these things here have perish timers. So they will all go bad over the next day or two. But what we can do in the portable constructors, if we just go to the medicine tab here, and see what we can make. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any alien teeth. We need to be killing some predators with those. And if we just go back to aqua and animals again, once we bumped into a bunch of these guys, they'll be giving us alien teeth. We don't have any right now. But we can make a couple of meds. So let's make a couple of those because we will be needing these later once we get to some POIs. And we are liable to need a couple of these pills and other things. So we'll get meds making here as and when we can. Now we also picked up all of this carbon substrate. I'm just going to dump that in here for now. Now the fuel does take plant fibers, so I'm going to put that in there. So that's it for the first day. We got our fuel going. We've got a lot of butterflies here. But anyway, we are at full now. So what we're going to do is we're going to eat this here so that we get back to full hunger bar. But I'm just also going to put down this one here. So this is the water O2 condenser that we just made. So if we just go F to open that, and look at status here, it says off because we got no energy. But we did start this going. So what we can do is take all this out with shift left mouse click. Shift left mouse click again, puts it all in. And this is now working. So this produces oxygen and bottles of water, both of which we're going to need over the early part of the game. So once it's finished this bottle of oxygen here, which we'll do in 52, 51, etc., then it switches to water, and then back to oxygen, then back to water. So it will be producing those two things. All right, and that's it for the first day. The plan tomorrow is to go mining. So if we just ping, go equip with our detector, just go to M. So we're going to hit up this copper mine here. If we remember, when we were here and we hit the detector, it told us there was a mine here. So we're going to be hitting this one for copper, this one for iron, this one for silicon, and then heading back to camp. Might do this one as well, depends. But if we just go tab and look at our stats here, as mentioned, our goal first day was to hit level 5, which we've done. Goal tomorrow will be level 7. Because as we run around, we will be, as we're doing our mining, we will be picking up a lot more plants, and at the end of tomorrow, then we'll have a bunch of copper, a bunch of silicon, a bunch of iron, and we'll also be at level 7. And at that point, we'll be in a position where we can start manufacturing things, and that's what we'll do. So anyway, thanks for watching this one, and I hope to see you for the second episode where we'll start to go out and get our mining materials.